or something in the typical of Iceland and other
I've
things,
never seen it here.
and the child will imbibe. No, he has never seen.
Yes,
You
cannot grasp
understand?
it.
So you illustrate something with the common, and the environment is one which makes somebody. We are product of our environment.
Yes.
You give example of something which you see daily, not what you can imagine. When you grown up, somebody can tell you, because I know that I can go to very far places and remember what I learned in school. If I go to America now, they tell me that they have seen these Great Lakes of America between Canada and something. I've learned of it, but I'm learning of it at that time theoretically. Have I seen Himalayan mountain? But they said it's the highest
Mountain
Mount Everest
beautiful.
in the world. So if they take me there, I say, oh, so that was what I learned of something. But you can learn from your environment, but also not to forget to learn from other places, which in the case you reach there, you identify them. So answer.
As we come to close, there's one final question I want to ask you, sir. Now, at the start, we talked about how artificial intelligence is replacing industries, automation, replacing human labor, and like. Now, in your opinion, do you think AI now is it a risk to creativity, or or is it complementing our effort to achieve more?
It's certainly complementing. It's only when you look at it from the point of view of being engaged in doing something which is going to take away a job from you, of course you will not welcome it. But it makes things easier, the AI. And it is something which will come whether or not you like it. So you better make use of it. As it is it not human being which is developing? Eh? There are all these things which we are discovering. They are there. We are discovering because there was a time in those days, I used to give people an example that when there is a eclipse of the moon, we will be beating drums and other things, praying that God should release the moon. We didn't know that it's a physical phenomenon, which whether or not you beat anything, it will happen. So all these scientific discoveries, they are around us, around us. So human intelligence is discovering things which will help him. Of course, there are adverse aspects of it. It is only for us to make an effort to minimize the adverse effects. Otherwise, you cannot halt development of technology or something there. We have moved from when we use cutlass and hoe and something now to combine harvester, which is helping. A job which one man will take about 1 month to do, machine will do it within 10 hours. Will you say you will not do it just because of anything? And if you look at Nigeria, I tell people, some years ago, we were about 40 million. Now, we are how many? 200 and something. Is it with the hoe and scratching the earth that you think you will feed 200 million people? It's not possible. You have to adopt technology. We have the land. Unfortunately, we are not using it. That is where our problem is. So technology is to help us maximize all our effort. You will do one job which will take about 100 people to do. One machine will do it within hours. So we cannot discount that one. And it is our own, what you develop as a human being that will help you. But of course, we develop things like all these weapons of mass destruction. It is we who develop it, and yet it is we, out of misuse, will kill you. And sometimes they say it is what you are used to that will kill you. So all it is that we cannot stop invention, but we must care. We must take care to use the invention positively and not negatively. There are some people within the society who will apply it negatively, but we hope majority of human beings would be using it positively. Nuclear, something is there, but what will cause problem today for people, you don't even need, I said, people tank to kill people. Even by mere propaganda, you can easily incite people to kill people. You don't need even a weapon of mass destruction in this one. You understand? So that's all what I say.
Okay, sir. Would like you to say something to the Nigerian teachers, the people who are out there every day seeing that knowledge, there is knowledge transfer. That, like they say, train a teacher, you've trained a nation, and teachers are the bedrock of every nation because they are the holders of educational standard in every society. So, I'd like you to say one or two things to the teachers out there, to Nigerian teachers, to encourage their efforts every day.
Well, if there are teachers, there are teachers. Teachers who take it as a profession and who are trained to do. Not tomorrow you see somebody in the classroom addressing children. He has not had any training whatsoever how to convey and teach children. So when you talk of teachers, at our time, as I used to see, you'll find teaching methods, how even to impart knowledge to children. I'm not sure whether they do it now, but in those days, I'm talking about 1960s and something, when the white people were around, you have inspectors who would be visiting schools to see even how a teacher is conveying something. But today, real professional teachers who have gone through teachers college and everything, how many of them vis-a-vis others who have taken to teaching, just passing out of the university are take to teach for lack of other job to do. So it's unfortunate, but the population is expanding and people are looking for education. So everybody is engaged as a teacher, but not really a teacher. You understand? And teachers always say that the reward is in heaven. But I'm not sure our current teachers will wait for you to say they want to reward in heaven. And they will want to heavy pay. If no pay, no work, no work, the kind of thing. Unfortunately, you find that even a situation where children, 8 months, they are out of school because the teacher wants money. We never experienced that one during our time. Without regard to the welfare and well-being of the child, they drop chalk. How many strikes do we have in the university lasting up to 8 months? And in these days of expensive education, you render somebody 8 months out of job, out of school. Could he recover? That is the problem. Well, we sympathize with teachers, but at the same time, that their reward is in heaven should be emphasized. But unfortunately, they are faced with the realities of the world that they will insist on reward in this and this one. So they will rather drop chalk, let the child suffer, irrespective, because they too want to survive. So we can appreciate that one, but at least sometimes they need some moderation. Consider the welfare of other people. Because if you drive away a child now to go to home, to come back, how much money he will transport himself and something. So that interruption. But also, government has to set up a machinery for dialogue. We used to have what they call weekly council, that you don't wait until issues arise before you start discussing. You will be discussing, so there will be no need for strike. At every stage, issues arise, you discuss, you dialogue, you do something. Strike should be the last option. But people, unfortunately, they turn strike to be the first option, and people suffer for it. Well, uh, I want to share a joke with you. I said some unions have gone on strike so many times because they are talking government is not listening. I said, look, you soon enter Guinness Book of Record for the number of strikes you are going through. Just because you say the government, if you say government doesn't listen at this strike, why do you have to continue embarking on the same thing for somebody who's deaf? If it's deaf, no matter the number of strikes you go, you cannot change it. And the strike is supposed, we have industrial court, industrial something. If there are processes to go, strike should be the last, what is it now, option, but not the first option. And question of that, strike is the only language government to understand. If it is so, why do you have to do it several times before you do something there? It means it's not working. So people have to adjust. People have to adjust.
You heard Dr. Bukar Usman. We understand that you put in so much effort in what you do, and your work is greatly appreciated. But of course, consider the child, consider the children under your watch.
Yes.
Sometimes the government is doing so much because there's so much on the table to be done. Let's be patient while we anticipate better results, policies that will affect your welfare of the government. Well, once again,
I must credit one unionist activist from the university. When I last met him somewhere and we discussed, he confessed to me that actually, in terms of remuneration, it's not too bad. But they are also concerned with the physical environment where the students are working. And when I went to one university about more than 15 years ago, I look at the ceiling and the bench where in a university about 3 or 4 people are sitting on it. I cast my mind back to view my village, my hometown. I said, even as far back as 1954, we were not sitting on this type of bench, let alone we are now in the 3 decades after. I said, we never sat in that type of environment and yet, except that people are thirsty for education, so they are willing to put up with any inconvenience. You understand? Because people can even sit under the tree and learn, provided they will get what they want. But at the same time, you can improve the environment and then somebody can really sit properly to learn. But you don't need also something very, very exotic before somebody can teach. Provide the classrooms. Jakonde, when he wanted to expand education in Lagos, he built a lot of schools in the sense that people can have 3 streams because he said education is necessary. People were dismissing his classroom as chicken house. Up to today, those chicken houses are still there. And it has reduced the population, yes, out of school children. You understand? Out of school children. Once you provide the facility, children will be there. And somebody asked me, are the parents the one constrained? I said, no. My parents, they did not give their consent before I went to school. I was in the street playing. By the time they knew what, I was already in school. So it's not a question of once the government is determined and provide the facilities, people will read. It is up to us to provide the facilities. And also, in those days, I said, even at the university, I got the allowance they gave me was even enough for me to go to my village to build a 1.5 bedroom house, which is still standing. When I was in university, not that I misused the money, but there was enough for me to even save to go and build something with it. Today is another problem. In primary school, secondary school, our pocket money was 2 kobo per week, and yet we saved some to buy key soap to take care of our parents. Today, what do you need to buy key soap with? Plenty.
So, thank you so much for your answer. Greatly appreciate it. Once again, to our viewers out there, yes, we know